All right. So we're moving on to the next lab. And again, this time we're going to do some debugging, taking a look at code, what happens when things don't work. So let's once again bring up Visual Studio. And I am slowly bringing it up. I am going to get a new computer, by the way. Okay, so we see the last project in our most recent, but we're going to open up a new project. And you've already downloaded all the files, so let's go to Open Project or Solution. And again, mines are located in a little bit different area. So I got my lectures. Okay. This time we're going to open up trip cost. Right. So we go right in there. And again, you can open up trip cost project. This time we'll just open up the solution. Whenever there's only one project for a solution, opening up either of these is basically the same thing. Okay. So we're opening it up now. And it's doing its thing. Let's go back to our handout. And so we're going to view the trip cost form, and we're going to immediately click the start button. And unlike last time for our invoice total form project, we're going to see errors that happen. And the error list is going to appear on the window, and you're going to have the following errors that you have to deal with. So we can double click on line 35. We can return back to the error list window. Will be gone when you fix it. And we could double click on line 47. We can fix that line of code. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and let's try to compile, run this. We don't have to, we can just click the start button. It'll try to build it on its own. Okay. And let's see what happens, what we notice about line 29 after we fix 35 and 47. Okay. So let's go into Visual Studio. It's still working on bringing this up. I must have a slow computer. So just give it a minute here. So here we go. I should almost pause the video until this opens up. I'm hoping it's going to open up shortly though. So go back to our handout. And now in line 29, you're going to see a wavy green line as compared to a wavy red line. A wavy red line is not a good thing. That means you have an error. Okay, you have a syntax error. A wavy green line basically means you you have a variable that you've declared that you've never used. Okay, and so that's what that wavy green line is going to mean. All right, come on. All right, I'm going to pause this video till we get back up. All right, I'm back and I tried running in trip costs and I came up with this. At this point, we're going to say no. We don't want to continue to run the last successful build since we don't even have the last successful build. So we'll say no, and we come up with two errors. Okay, two errors in one warning. Right now, we bring back the handout. So we're going to, again, use this handout to show you what's going on. And we're going to fix line 35 and line 47. And then we're going to fix line 29. Okay. So let's just go ahead and do that. I think I have another thing up here. Slow this down. Okay. I was getting some problems, obviously, in my last load. All right, so we can just double click on line 35. It takes us to line 35. And we should be seeing a red line here very shortly. And let's see, try to figure out what the problem is here. There's our red line. And again, the problem is that we have to tell it what to parse. What property do you want us to parse? And parsing is a way of assigning different types of data types to a variable. In this case, we're going to parse the text. So let's just put in dot, and we don't even have to figure that out. We can go right down to text. We could type in text, of course. So let's go ahead and select that. Good there. And you notice that it's removed from our list of errors. Okay. Now, this one cannot implicitly convert a decimal to a string. So we have to tell it to convert it to a string, and we do that by using the toString method. So let's just do a dot, and it defaults right to toString. You need the parentheses. I was just waiting for it to put it out there for us. And that one's gone. And now with 29, you can just delete the one variable, the dec miles, because we don't have that. So you can just come right over here and delete it out. And now we have 0 issues with our program. All right. So pretty simple. Okay. All right. So we, this is just telling you that you can increase or decrease the font size. Okay. So you can read this better. So right now we're going to select the variable intake capacity on line 23. We're going to double click on the variable name, and you're going to rename that to int gas tank capacity. Okay. And so you're going to right click on that, and you're going to rename it, and it's going to ask you these questions. Do you want to look what locations to look at? There's 4 references in one file, okay? So, and then you would just click apply, okay? People name and rename the ink gas tank and click apply, okay? Now you can select any of these to do that. So let's take a look. It's in gas tank capacity. And so we're going to just basically put gas in there. Now you can tell where to look, and that will that helps you to where you want to select it. And we might select them all. Let's go and look at our code. It's on 923. Okay. So right click. We go down to rename. And so let's put gas in here. And then hit enter. Okay. So it switched all of these areas. Okay. It's just a quick way to, you don't have to go through each instance. You could have did it up here too, but probably easier doing it like we did it, okay? You could have did a find and replace that's available within most Windows applications. All right, then let's go back to our notes. We're going to execute by hitting the start button, okay? And then we're going to click the following things in. And then we're going to go into debug mode. So let me bring this on over, okay? So I can watch what's going on. Okay. So we can hit the start button right here. And it should compile because, well, we fixed the errors. And it should bring up this little mileage cost trip for us, okay? And it's running. It's going to probably bring it, the run screen over, the form over to my other screen. All right, here it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and type what you need to type in. We're going to type in 13, 2 gallons left in the tank, miles driven on trip 330, and the cost of gas, yeah, we wish 250. Okay, and then we're going to select the calculate button. Okay, and we notice right away, we know we didn't use negative. We didn't go a negative miles. Okay, so we got some work to do. So right now we're going to try, again, you can make this larger control. We're going to just leave this up like it is. Okay. All right. So, stop this. Okay. We're going to run it in. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to place our cursor over this line. Okay. Let's go ahead and place it right here. Okay. So this is our event that is going to this is the method that's going to run on the click event for the calculate button. Okay. And then we're going to set a breakpoint here. All right. Now there's different ways to do this, but we can click the F9 key. So let's try doing that. Okay. And if you notice, the light bulb went on, and let's do this again. All right. So we could have also went into debug up here. Okay, and we could toggle a breakpoint here. Okay. So debug. Okay. Still there. We can remove it by clicking here. Or we can click here and it put it back on it. So these are different ways. Usually the easiest way is just to click right here in the gray. And we're going to debug this whole function right here, okay? Or method, however you want to look. So we're going to try to fix our code. So what we need to do is we can run this in debug mode, okay? And let's go ahead and try to run this again. And when we run this, okay, let's type in the same values, all right? And so it's 13, 2, 330, and 2.50. Now when we hit calculate, okay, so all of a sudden it stops right here, okay? Now if you hit continue, it'll just run all the way through and it won't stop at all, okay? So if you hit continue, it still comes up wrong, okay? But let's go ahead and try it again. This time we're going to step through this, okay? And again, this is the first time we're doing it, so we can step through debug, and these are the different ways to do that. Okay. Different things that you can do. But let's step through the code. And I believe it's F8. No. Nope. Let's see. Oh, F11, step into. All right. Or you can use this switch right here. And notice how it didn't stop right here. It went to here. Okay. And, you know, at this point, you could start looking, hey, what are the values here? So what's its gas tank capacity? And if we go back to the form, go back to the form. Yeah, I guess we can't see, but let's step into it one more time. Okay. And at this point, this should be a value. It's 13, okay? Just like gallons left should be 2, 0. If we step into this, which we could also use F11. In fact, I'm going to try using F11 here. Okay. Now, if we look at that, we can see that, there's something wrong here, okay? Tank capacity. So something's going on. And step into 330 miles, okay? All right, so something weird's going on with that. And if you wanted to continue all the ways, you could just you just hit continue. And again, we see that there's a problem here. So one of the problems is this, is that this text is not equal to 2. So we would have to go and figure out what is going on here. And so that's how you would use debug. We see that something's not right here. Okay. So let's go. We're still in debug mode, so let's go ahead and try to calculate again. Okay. And let's step through it. Okay, that's equal to 13. That's equal to 2. Okay. That's equal to 330. Okay. So why did this switch? Let's walk this step into that. Okay, good. So maybe I was highlighting the wrong thing. Okay. But if we wanted to, we could try to figure out what's going on here. And I know what's going on here. Does anybody know what's going on here? It's right here. 2 minus 13. That's the problem. So let's stop this. And we can figure that we can change this around, see if that will make a difference. Okay. And all right. Oops, put it in the wrong spot. Like that. Try to run it one more time. This time we're going to just let it run all the way through. It's going to be somewhere. Looking for it. There it is. Let's see if we fixed it. So 13, 2. So we have 11, we used 11 gallons. We went 330 miles. And we should get something like what's on our screen on what page is this? Page 18. Okay. So let's put this in 2.50. Calculate. We're still in debug mode. We don't have to be in debug mode. Um, Look at all this. Get down here. Um, and we'll hit continue. Uh-oh. Forgot the same thing. Oh. Let's stop this. Let's rebuild this. Make sure that we have everything working correctly. I'm going to take it off debug mode. Okay. And here we go. See if I got it right. 13, 2, 330. Well, I know these by heart now. Oh, something's still wrong. And so we want to go see where we're figuring out miles per gallon. Okay. Okay. So, um, tank capacity minus tank left, gallons used on a trip. See, we got rid of the negative sign. Now we need to um, figure out, we're doing miles per gallon. So in tank capacity divided by gallons used on the trip. Again, we're just doing this backwards. Let's exit, put that out. And this is really the how I go through stuff. It's if there's, you just go through one thing at a time, and you run it, and things blowing up is not a problem. We're all right with things blowing up as long as it's not in production. So again, 13, 2, 330, and $2.50. Okay. Hit calculate. Nope. Something's still wrong. Um, All right, Raj. No. Anyways, there were several things that we needed to do. We needed to include this. We needed to fix this, and you would have figured all this out on your own. And now if we run the form, uh, we should be able to put in the right amounts for it. So let's just make sure our work works. Again, I'm going to let you be able to see that what the answer should be. So 13, 2, 330. Look, these things require the sniff test. What does it make sense? And you do have to answer on your handout, but this is the correct thing. Okay. All right. So this is your answer. So you should modify it to make it look like this. All right. The final thing we need to talk about is we're going to talk about a form constructor. Whenever the form is initialized, whenever you run the form, it's going to try to initialize it first. So it's going to initialize every component in your form, okay? And so it's going to run this method or this function for this form. And just to show you where that is, when you go to this program right here, okay? So if I go right here, what it's going to do is it's going to try to initialize everything in your form, and this is what it's going to run. Okay, right here, all this is going to run when you do the initialize uh, function. And if none of this runs, guess what? You won't see any designs, any of your objects displayed on there. So all these have to run, okay? All these labels and text boxes and things of that nature. Now your form will run, but you won't. You'll be nothing on your form. So if we go here and we take this constructor and we we take it out. Let's just take it out. And whoops. It's, what we're going to do is we're going to comment it out. And we can go right here. This is a quick way to comment a group of code out. If we go ahead and run this, it'll run. But it's going to show you a blank form because we're not initializing any of our object or controls on our form. Okay, so let's see what happens here. So you're going to get a blank form. And that's exactly what you get. All right, now we're going to exit out of that. And let's uncomment this out. Just got to do that. And now if we run it, it should show all the objects that are on the form. Slowly but surely, here it comes. Here we go. Of course, that'll show it on my other screen first. And you can see all the objects are redisplayed. And it's only because of this. All this has to run in order for the controls to show up. So whenever you drag the control onto your form, it made one of these for that. Okay. Now, we usually don't mess around here. We only mess around over here. So trip cost designer, we don't mess around, but we do mess around here where our code is. This is usually where we do our code. Okay. And just to show you, let's go back, let's go to the form and actually drag something on here. So it's slowly bringing up the GUI, the graphical user interface, or designer mode. All right. So you can see all the controls. We can look at all the Windows form controls. All right. So, for example, let's just let's put a combo box right here. Okay. And if you go to here, you're going to see it's actually written code for that combo box right here. Okay. So Visual Studio does all this for you. You don't have to worry about it. But you have to initialize every control before that. That's what happens here. And we can do different things here. We can set default amounts for text boxes or default data. So yeah, just wanted you to play around with that a little bit. All right, well, this concludes our both of our labs. I hope you try all this so that you can stay up to speed with C# and the Visual Studio Designer. So I will see you later.